What's up, YouTube? Sam Animations back at it again with another reaction. Like I had mentioned before, after the second Ultimate Pivot Tournament, I would react to the third. This is the most recent one that I made. I started it around June of 2019. Actually, I take that back. I finished it in very late October. So, oh no, yeah, I was correct. I started around June of 2019 and I finished in late October. Then it's scheduled to premiere on my channel on November 2nd, 2019. This tournament took me about 4 months to make and I was working on it non-stop. I had a lot of time to do that because it was my early senior year of high school and I was barely taking any difficult classes. So I had a lot of time to hone in on my animation skills and just all the skills I would need to develop for once I go to university. So this tournament right here was almost like my perfect portfolio piece to show the school that I would go to how well I can animate. So this was a passion project, just like the other two tournaments, and I wanted to make it look as good as I possibly could. So, like I had mentioned with the second tournament, I didn't really think it was bad. I still like it. I thought that my issue with it was just that some of the fights got dragged on too long. So I made it like my mission to make it so that every single fight in here was the right length. It was not too long, it was not too short. It was just right. So I literally made myself a schedule on like saying that the preliminary fights would be no more than 25 seconds. The semi-final fights no more than 40. And the final fight no more than 2 minutes. I already had those blocks scheduled and I didn't stick to them to a T, but I tried to stay around the ballpark. Some fights were maybe a few seconds longer, a few seconds shorter. The reason why I had all those times set up is that it was the perfect amount of time for me to place in as much action as possible and not get lazy after animating so much constant movement. So that was the middle ground that I chose, and I think it really worked well for this tournament. If I were to do anything differently, I think the only thing I would change is like maybe in the final fight, if I had the motivation to, maybe I would have done like a tag team 2v2 kind of thing instead, or that would be like a surprise fight. I'm not confirming that I'll do that in the future. It was just an idea that I had in mind. So without further ado, all the formalities and introductions are out of the way. Enjoy my reaction to the third and, quite frankly, my favorite Ultimate Pivot Tournament. I still think this intro is so good. Like, it just starts off with a bang. I won't forget it. Like, when I set the premiere for this video and the countdown went all the way to 0 and that started, I felt so hyped seeing my subscribers like watch the product that I worked 4 months on, and for them to all see, it's like the music is in your face. Like, you know this tournament is going to be just super hype. So I think I did a really good job of that. The sound effects too, and the music, I think it all just works together very well. And then right when you hit the play button, bam, everything stops and then the tournament goes on. So the unfortunate news is this video got copyrighted because I used this song, but I didn't want to use any other song, so I was like, screw it. I'm gonna take the copyright. This video won't get monetized. Monster Cat can get all the ad revenue for all I care. I needed this song to be in the intro. I thought it was perfect. But yeah, probably gonna get copyrighted here too, but I'm trying to talk over this so that that doesn't happen. But yeah, I think I'm just really sad that that happened, but I expected it with copyrighted music like this. So without further ado, let this tournament begin and let it be super exciting. So I wouldn't change up too much about this, but I feel like Ryu powers up and there's like a whole wall of flame around Lavender. I think the only thing I would make a little different is the aura, like the power-up aura that's surrounding Lavender. I'd probably just make it look more like a shield instead, just to show that, oh, Lavender's actually protecting himself from that. So yeah, I mean, that's what I think, at least. Maybe the aura is fine. You guys probably don't really care too much, but that's what I'm just thinking. This fight was very fun to animate. This was like really good practice for me to work on doing like a string of combos. So that's exactly what you see here. You got a speedster and a guy who uses static. And static is just doing combo after combo, and it looks so tough. And then I kind of wish I explored this idea a little bit more, but like, seriously, this is the third speedster that I put in the tournament. I'm not gonna let him get far. Sorry, guys. But if I maybe done the counter thing on another character, that would have been kind of cool. I just think it was a little underexplored. Because the whole overdrive state thing, like, that's pretty cool, and honestly that's a pretty sick skill to have. Unfortunately, static was just stronger. So around this time, I was actually rewatching the anime No Game No Life, and the music in that show is just so top notch, because it's an isekai where the two main characters get transported into a world, and it's a world where all arguments and battles and stuff are decided by games. So the music is very much like game-like, and since I produced this tournament to be designed kind of like a not a game, but like, old Flash animations on Newgrounds, and they'll have the scene select, they'll have like the exit button, the play button. I kind of designed it off of that. But the game music works so well for this. That's why I was just like, yo, get this soundtrack out of the show, place it here, see how that works. And it worked beautifully. So, the dialogue there, definitely necessary. I had to kind of explain Nox's powers a little bit more. So, like, this dude pretty much has venom that secretes from his fists on command. It's not like it happens all the time, but you can do it on command, right? So if he just hits his opponent, like, super hard, some of that venom gets lodged into, like, their body and will slowly start to poison them, and they'll get slower. I guess the only issue really with Nox's ability is just that I couldn't really portray that in the animation too well. I tried my best at the time, but the only thing that changed is their skin color would turn from like their main skin color to green, but I couldn't really show the signs of them slowing down or their hits getting weaker. So if I were to go and redo the fights that Nox was in, I would definitely show more of the fact that, oh, the fighter that just got poisoned is slowing down. Mind you, this poison does not last forever. It's just meant to like paralyze him for a couple of minutes. It's that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think the whole character of Nox was pretty cool, and the venom ability I thought was pretty creative. I just wish I could show that in the animation a little bit better. I'd say the good thing I did though is I definitely showed the strength aspect of Armstrong. Like, this dude didn't even hit the boulder, and then all of the rocks just like broke apart. So I think I did a good job there. And overall, just this tournament, the reason why it's my favorite, just from an animator's aspect, is because this is the animation where I feel like my skills were, quite frankly, at their best at the time. And I made sure to make everything look as smooth as possible. So I'm a little biased in that sense. You know, if we're talking about view-wise, unfortunately, this one did the worst, with around, you know, 60,000 views, but that's just because of copyright issue. The video didn't get copyright striked. It probably would have been up there with the first and the second one, but it's okay. I'm not mad at it. Ooh, so Rosa, if you remember from the first tournament, Sora was a character with flight abilities, and he lost to Flash in like less than 7 seconds. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring Sora back, quote unquote Sora, but one, I'm gonna make this fighter a girl. Two, I'm gonna make sure this fighter can actually get far, because I was just like, there's a lot that you can do with the flight ability. Like, although other characters might have static electricity or energy blasts or teleportation, there's a lot that can be done with flying, and I really wanted to show that. So I had Rosa be like a very nimble fighter. Like, she can weave her body like this and that, because she's not glued to the ground. She literally has the entire arena and the sky as her battlefield. So I wanted to show that, and I think I portrayed that pretty well. And Beryl having invisibility was super fun to animate, because like all I'm animating are the blows that are being hit, but you can't see Beryl at all. But yeah, out of the preliminaries, this was my favorite fight, easily. Yo, that hit was so powerful that it repeated 3 times. But this whole sequence right here was a reference to Naruto. When Sasuke, what did he do? Oh, I think this was like during the Chunin exam. Sasuke was fighting Orochimaru, and I think that was like the first time he did the Falcon drop. And like, that junk is super crazy. Like, dude pretty much death grabs the opponent, has them upside down, and then just launches down like a rocket and then smashes their head into the ground. So yeah, I had to show that here. It looked super tough. Animating it was not too hard. So, you know, Rosa kicks Beryl, grabs Beryl, and then she shouts Falcon drop. You can see that, you know, she's moving down very fast. I use dash sticks to kind of show this kind of speed. It only takes up 3 frames on screen, and then eventually she gets faster, so it goes to just 2 frames of dash, and you can see the ground getting closer. And then I fade them out, and now it's just fully focused on the fact that they're getting close to the ground. And then I pan up, and then now we're seeing a worm's eye view of Rosa coming down to the ground with Beryl. Now, funny enough, you can see like it's literally just 3 cylindrical sticks and a ball, but it works. And with animation, sometimes you can get away with stuff like that. Like, if the motion is fast enough, you can make it look really, really like overly simplified, and people will still be able to make out what it was. And after that, before Rosa lands onto the ground, this takes up the whole screen. Bam, slams into the ground. Super hard, rocks coming up, bam, bam, bam. This is really, really painful. I do the same shot again. She goes down really fast. Bam, rocks and boulders everywhere. And then I do a far view of the same thing. And then you see not only were the rocks spreading outward, but there was a whole second barrier of rocks flying up. So as you can see, this is a very, very powerful attack. And the reason why it was super damaging and obviously ended the fight right there is because Rosa can fly. You don't think that she sped up when falling down? So yeah, I just love that sequence so much. Yeah, Beryl's dead. I'm sorry, you can't survive that. That was an overkill move. All right, semifinals. This music is from My Hero Academia. I thought it would work perfect here. And oh my goodness, this fight was just so much fun. Static electricity versus energy blast. And it was just like, there was no wasted motion. These fighters were going at it with all of their might. So Static used a shield, that's like an electricity shield, which is why I was able to just tank the blast. And then there's like a beam struggle, like this is so epic! So if you're kind of wondering what happened there, I tried to show that well in the animation. I don't know if it really worked, but Lavender was too tired, so he kind of just gave up. And Static was obviously still fine. So yeah, first semi-final fight done. Second one is also pretty epic. I honestly don't know which one I like more. I like both of them a lot. Fun fact, during the production of this, when the screen pans over to the right, I actually forgot about the boulder behind. So I had to go back and reinsert that boulder into each frame, and it was such a pain. But I was like, you gotta keep the attention to detail, so you still need that boulder behind Nox, but it was just such a pain. This whole sequence here, man, oh my gosh, it took forever because there were so many like boulders and rocks coming up. I think for me to do this whole sequence, I think it took about maybe just 3 seconds. I think it took maybe like an hour to a little over an hour to animate. Other than that though, I think it turned out beautifully, so I'm glad that I did what I did. I referenced it off of something. I just don't remember from where. It could have been Dragon Ball, but I know for a fact it was just from some kind of anime that I was watching at that time. But yeah, take a look. Not even, that was 2 seconds. So yeah, Rosa knew that she had very little time left, so she wanted to end this fight quick. And you know, I just like the way I set this up. I have like, because I know in the first tournament, you know, when the 2 finals are up, you know, the Super Saiyan aura sound, it kind of just fades in, which is cool. The second one, pretty much doing the same thing, but I feel like the sound effect I picked here is just like powerful. Like this fight's gonna be pretty epic. You know, I had to put 7 Deadly Sins music in here. Escanor's theme, beautiful. So here I'm really showing like how good Rosa's flight abilities can be. So flight versus static electricity. Who's gonna win it? love that sequence. Animating it wasn't too difficult, but I needed to just have an eye on some attention to detail. So static charges up, everything slows down, and I pause for a little bit. Bam, impact frame. Well, not an impact frame, but like a red frame to show that, oh, this is gonna be hard, like hard hits. So first, I have the lightning streak showing the direction that static is going to be moving in. Then the dash stick follows it, and then static lands. And because they're still moving forward, he puts like a dent in the ground. And then after that, static moves to the left. And then right after that, he gets out of that really fast motion. He puts more, you know, like the ground is breaking up from him planting his feet into the ground. He charges up again with more lightning, charges up in the direction where he's attacking Rosa. And then after that, he does it again. And then he charges up like two, almost like, I don't want to say they're Chidoris. It's not exactly that, but like pretty much two electricity, like balled fists up in his hand. And I try and make it look really cool. So he charges that up, then he charges back forward, and then bam, boom, electricity punch right into Rosa. And I think it just looks really, really cool. So I loved animating that sequence. Mind you, a lot of this stuff I kind of just think about on the fly. It's just like, how do I want these string of attacks to go? How should it look? I think with, you know, with future animations now, especially as an animator, you really want to have a storyboard on how you do these things. For all the tournaments and for most of the animations I've done on my channel, there was no storyboard. So it was really just like, oh, I think I should do this, so I'm going to animate that. Now, if I were to have a storyboard, I think it would work a little bit better, just because I already have planned out what I want to animate instead of just doing stuff on the fly. That only works for so long. So this is just a throwback to the first tournament that I made. It's like everything is coming in full circle. As you remember, Viridia had the red or Flash had the blue one. So I was kind of just doing a little throwback. Same thing with the night sky. That was just meant to be a throwback to the first tournament. Almost like a kind of me just saying a thank you to the fans for, you know, sticking with me from the start through the second one with all the delays. And now this third one, you know, like I'm putting everything together for this final showdown. So this next sequence, the first 4 seconds of it or so, I actually based it off of Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. When Goku and Vegeta fight, at the very start of their fight, when they clash, the whole background goes white and they're just attacking each other. So I kind of wanted to reference that here too. And I was thinking I referenced anything else in that first sequence, but no, that was just it. So out of all of the, you know, line clashes that I've done from the first to the third, this I'm gonna say it's like up there, because between the second one and the third one, they're like neck and neck. I might just place this one just slightly higher, but I like the second tournament even more because I didn't do it with just 2 characters. I did it with 3 because it was Seer, it was Crimson, and Flash. So yeah, just I love doing that stuff because it's fast and it's also very easy to do. But yeah, take a look one more time by all means. So more strings of combos, showing how Rosa is very nimble. That's what I wanted to show. So the sound effects are louder, the music is even more grand. This is meant to be intense. And Rosa's gonna win it, right? Wrong. So, yeah, that's the tournament 3. There's so much that I like about it, and honestly, man, I don't even know what to say. I think the twist at the end was pretty dope, because I really wasn't sure like who I wanted to win. I was just like, yo, do I want it to be Rosa? Do I want it to be Static? And I was just stuck between that literally the entire fight. That's why it was like so even. It was so back and forth, back and forth. I was like, okay, I gotta make a last minute decision and figure out who I want to win this tournament. So when Rosa was about to do the Falcon drop, I was like, all right, either Rosa wins this or Static does something to beat Rosa. So I was like, all right, I want Static to win it. Bam, Static shot, grabs onto Rosa, and then uses her own move against her. And I was just like, yo, it's such a cheap tactic, but it works. So I definitely liked what I did with that. You know, these are just special thanks to people that I knew, cared about, helped me out in high school. And then, thank you for watching. But yeah, the tournament 3 has a special place in my heart. So I know a lot of comments have asked like, will you ever do a tournament 4 to wrap the whole thing up, or are you ever going to do anything that pertains to the Ultimate Pivot tournament? The honest answer is I do not know. College is very busy and I need to practice my 2D animation skills in Toon Boom, stuff like that. So, you know, I feel like if I were to do another tournament, what I would have in mind isn't actually like a tournament. It'd probably be something more like a threat. Like a threat would come into the mix kind of just like out of nowhere. Well, not really out of nowhere. There would be a reason to this threat coming, and then the 2 finalists from each tournament would have to stop said threat in like a 1v6. So, you know, if I go through with this, I'm not confirming that I will. I'm just saying if I do have the drive to actually get this done, trust me, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I'm thinking like a 1v6 fight with the 2 finalists from all 3 tournaments going against this opponent. That's how strong this opponent is going to be. And then that will tie up the whole tournament quadrilogy if it ends up being like 4 tournaments instead of just 3. But for now, this is just a trilogy. I'm not gonna say I'm adding anything on. It's just an idea. Currently, I'm still working on that animation I've been teasing you guys about for well over a year now, and unfortunately I haven't touched it in so long just because life got busy. But you know, by the time this actually gets uploaded on YouTube, it will probably be about 2 months from now. So I'm hoping by then, you know, these words will be completely void and the video of that animation will already be uploaded, or a trailer will be out by then. That's what I'm hoping for. So this is like a message to me. If future me eventually sees this video, hopefully by then you have finished that new animation you've been working on for the last year and some change. And if you haven't finished it, hopefully you're almost done. You're done enough to the point where you can drop a trailer on YouTube. So that's what I would like for you to do. So with all of that out of the way, thank you guys for listening to me react to another video. This is not as long as the last one, but geez, it took up almost 31 minutes. I hope you enjoy my content. I'm trying to upload a little more frequently now. hopefully like twice a month. That's what I'm aiming for. I cannot promise if I will be that consistent, but this channel is my outlet. This is where I put all my stuff out, so I better be active. But thank you guys so much. You know, like, comment, subscribe, send this to people that you know would be interested in watching a 20-year-old animator react to some of his old content. With that said, you know, have a great day, night, morning. I don't know what time zone you're from, but just have a good day. Take care of yourself. Peace out.